So recently, my younger sister reminded me of some of the financial habits that I had as a child. And it was so funny because she reminded me of times when I would want to buy something and I would specifically say, I want this thing by this particular day, and I would always achieve it. In fact, there was one particular one that it was about a wavy shoe. Literally, the sole of the shoe was like wavy, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, I need to have this shoe by this particular date. And I made sure that I had the shoe. If it meant that I was going to, walk part of the way so that I would save some money on transportation, I would do that. If it meant that I would have to skip lunch, I would absolutely do that. And even if it meant that I would have to carry someone on my lap just to save on transportation and make sure that I hit that savings target, I would always do that. And even now as an adult, I realized that there's almost nothing that I say that I want to save towards that I've missed the target on it. I've always met my target, and a lot of the habits that I have now as an adult, financial habits, they're things that were formed in me as a child. I just gave example of my wavy shoe, and I thought that it would be interesting for me to share some of those things with you today. I think one of the things that has helped me is the fact that I always have a goal. I see that sometimes when people are trying to save, there's nothing particular that they're saving towards, so there's no goal. For me, I always have a target, and my target is made up of my goal amount, what I need it for, and when I need it. So if those three elements are not present in terms of me setting a target on what I want to save for and when I need it, it's never something that I see as achievable. The moment I start to paint the picture like, okay, I need the money for XYZ and this is when I need it, it starts to look clearer to me, and I'm able to picture how I'm going to achieve the goal. The next thing is the fact that I understand my income and my expenses so well. I'm not the type of person that puts pen to paper and starts to budget every month. I'm sure I've done a video on how I budget my paycheck. I'm not the type of person that writes down everything I spend my money on. However, I understand my expenses in and out. I know the things that take money from me, and I know my source of income. So with that, I'm able to know what my disposable income is and where I can possibly save more money in order to achieve my goal much faster. And I see this sometimes with a lot of people where they think they earn, especially here in the UK, where we're coming from, your taxes are not as bad as the way it is here in the UK. Maybe bad is not the word, but it's not as high, if I have to say that, as how it is here in the UK, where you think, for example, that you're earning £50,000 a year and then you divide that by 12, and then you're not shocked at the amount of money that is coming into your account. People sometimes don't even understand all of their income, let alone what they're spending money on. I see this a lot also with people that run businesses where they confuse their turnover for profit. Now, your turnover is how much someone has paid you for a service or how much you sold a good, but what is it costing you to deliver that service? What's it costing you to sell that, particular item to someone? So a lot of people don't even know the difference. So when they are planning their budget to save for something, they are planning based on the revenue or the amount they've calculated. They don't even know how much is going to come into their bank account as net income if you're a salary earner, or what is going to be left as profit that you can actually budget something against if you were running a business. So it's very critical that you know your income and your expenses really well. The next thing for me is I'm super disciplined when it comes to meeting my financial goals, especially when I'm trying to save up for something. And for me, discipline is in multiple ways. Discipline is one, making sure that I consciously put money aside towards this goal. If I need to set up a direct debit so that I don't forget, I will do that. That I'm just consciously making sure that I'm setting money aside on a monthly basis as my income is coming in towards this goal. Discipline for me also is practicing delayed gratification. A lot of us want to eat our cake and have it, and I'm always just asking myself, do I want it now or can I have it later, right? So if it's something that I can have later and it's going to help me achieve my goal much faster, then I'm just going to do that. Another thing for me in terms of discipline is learning to say no. Learning to say no to both myself and to other people. If there are things that I'm trying to buy while I'm trying to save up something, I will ask myself, is this a want or a need? If it's a want, then it's definitely a no. If it's a need, again, practicing some sort of like delayed gratification. Can I delay this a little bit and get it for myself later? If I can, then it's going to be a no. The only time I'll get a yes on something that I even need, it has to be something that is very necessary for survival. Like, I need to pay my house rent. Saying no to other people as well comes easy to me, because even though some people might feel bad that, hey, you're not helping and you have money or whatever, when I'm trying to save up for something, that I don't consider that my money. It is money that has a name to it. Literally, like when I'm saving my money, I always name the account that I'm saving the money into. Like when I was saving to buy my first investment property, it was, the name of the account was house number 1. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go to house number 1 and say that I want to take money to help somebody else solve their problem. And it might sound mean, but the way I live my life and my philosophy, especially now, is that I can't pour from an empty cup. My own cup needs to be full before I can start to pour into other people. And it's very important for me to be okay before I start to worry about other people, because I think I'll start to hold some sort of resentment if I end up now giving the money to some other people to solve their own problem, and then I'm not feeling bad that, hey, what I need to achieve is getting delayed. So I learned to say no, and it's all part of discipline for me. The last thing that I try to do is I get very creative when I'm trying to save for something. I start to really dig deep and start to look at ways that I can make the money. So I'm already planning on my income, the one that is steady, that I know comes to me on a monthly basis. Then I start to think of what are the other ways that I will be able to make money so that I can meet this goal much faster than I had originally planned it to. So I'm thinking of ways I can make money. How can I get someone else to pay part of this money that I need to use to buy this thing, right? So I'm offering new services. I might be increasing my prices on existing services. Even when I was running a business, it was some of the things that I practiced in my business. When my back is against the wall and I need to make sure that we have money for operations, to pay salaries, to pay rent, I would always think of what new products can I introduce? How can I also increase the price on existing products and services by offering maybe a slightly more value to justify the reason for the increase? And it may also just be that you're already underpricing yourself, and just by increasing your price slightly, then you're going to be able to meet up with the goal much faster. Another thing is try to make your saving very fun. It's part of being creative. Some people try to gamify, how they saved. Some people have accountability partners where it's some sort of like competition between them when they're trying to like save. And saving doesn't have to be boring when you're trying to achieve something. So, get creative if you like. For me, I just like to name the accounts that I'm saving in something that motivates me and makes it fun for me. Another thing that I try to do is I start to also think of ways where I can put the money that I already have, my savings, that is not just sitting there, right? That I can put it in a high interest yielding account, which I am looking for in this UK, by the way. The interest rate is just But when I was in Nigeria, it was so easy for me to just not just keep the money in a savings account where it's not yielding any significant interest for me. I would always put the money in a high interest yielding account. So you can also try to do that. So you're not just saving the money, your money is also still working for you. Bonus point, but one of the things that I absolutely do is the fact that when I am actually setting the target, right, I never set the target to the exact amount that I need. I always aim higher. I have always done that for every single thing I have tried to save for in my life, whether it's personal, whether it's business. I would not need £20,000 and target to save £20,000. There's something that my mom used to say. She'll say things like, you know, what if you accidentally hit someone that is hawking raw eggs? Like, if emergencies happen or something unplanned happened, you want to make sure that you're able to withstand that. There's also something that helps me in terms of just aiming for something higher. I run differently when I aim higher. I run differently. I'm extra disciplined because in my mind I need 25,000, right, and not the 20,000 that I actually need. So everything that I'm doing is to make sure that I'm hitting that 25,000. And a lot of the times I would always surpass that target of 20,000. I may not hit 25, but I would always meet my target and possibly exceed it. What would happen with people sometimes is that when they set the exact thing and they get tired along the way, or something unplanned, happened, then there's a good chance that there's no buffer for them to meet their target, right? If that makes any sense. And this is some of the ways that I'm able to save fast and also meet every single savings target that I've set for myself. If this has been helpful to you, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next time. Bye.